Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Charlie. On today's episode, I'm going to be showing y'all how to make my delicious homemade maple brown sugar pound cake from scratch. Now, this cake has real maple syrup, brown sugar, and we add that into the cake in small quantities along with our butter, eggs, leavening, and flour. Then to top it off, we make a homemade and delicious maple brown sugar icing that we pour right on top of the cake. This recipe calls for about 10 to 15 servings. It's absolutely delicious. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, here's all what you'll need to make your maple brown sugar pound cake. Let's get started with our ingredients. You'll need some all-purpose flour or cake flour, and along with that you're going to need some brown sugar, maple syrup at room temperature, salt, baking powder, unsalted butter at room temperature, large eggs at room temperature, heavy whipping cream at room temperature, whole milk at room temperature, vanilla extract, butter extract, maple extract, and some confectioner sugar. And for your tools, you will need some Baker's Joy non-stick baking spray, and to bake your cake, you will need a Nordic Ware Anniversary Bundt Pan. Now this is a 15 cup in capacity bundt pan. And there we have it. Alrighty, let's get straight to it. So in this medium-sized bowl with a mesh strainer, I'm going to add 3 cups of all-purpose flour or cake flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now I'm going to go ahead and sift all the ingredients into this medium-sized bowl. Now I'm going to go ahead and give this a quick stir. Alright, now before we get started with our wet ingredients, I just want to let you all know that liquid amounts will vary depending on if you're using all-purpose or cake flour. Now if you're using all-purpose flour, which I'm using, you're going to add 1 cup of heavy whipping cream at room temperature. If you're using cake flour, you're going to add 1 1/4 cups of heavy whipping cream at room temperature. And to that, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of maple syrup at room temperature, 1 1/2 teaspoons of maple extract, 1 teaspoon of butter extract, and 1 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now I'm going to take my whisk and I'm just going to stir this until combined. Alright, let's get started with the preparation of our cake batter. So in our stand mixer bowl fitted with the paddle attachment, I'm going to add 3 sticks of unsalted butter, softened and at room temperature, right on in there. And to that, I'm going to add 2 3/4 cups of brown sugar. Now I'm going to go ahead and start my mixer on a low speed to get that brown sugar and butter incorporated. Then I'm going to turn my mixer up to the highest setting, and I'm going to mix this on high speed for 5 minutes. Now at some point during those 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and stop my mixer, and I'm going to scrape down the sides of my bowl. And I'm going to continue mixing that in. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl. Now I'm going to start my mixer on a medium speed, and I'm going to add 5 large eggs in at room temperature, one at a time. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl. Now I just want to let you know that after this stage, you want to be careful with mixing the batter too much or mixing it at a high speed. Alright, now we're going to add the dry ingredients, which is the all-purpose flour, cake flour, and the baking powder and the salt. And the wet ingredients, which is the heavy whipping cream, the maple syrup, and the extracts into the batter. Now we're going to add this in here 3 separate times. We're not doing any measurements or anything like that. I'm going to add the first amount of the all-purpose flour or cake flour mixture, and the first amount of the maple cream mixture. Now I'm going to go ahead and mix this on a medium-low speed for about 15 to 20 seconds or until combined. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl. Alright, next I'm going to add the second amount of the all-purpose or cake flour mixture and the second amount of the maple cream mixture. And again, I'm going to mix this on a medium-low speed for about 15 to 20 seconds or until combined. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl. Alright, and lastly, I'm going to add the third and final amount of the all-purpose or cake flour mixture and the third and final amount of the maple cream mixture. Make sure you get your spatula to get that all in there. And again, I'm going to mix this on a medium-low speed for about 15 to 30 seconds or until combined. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl and our maple brown sugar pound cake batter is now ready. Now I'm going to go ahead and spray my bundt pan with the Baker's Joy nonstick baking spray. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 325 degrees. Now I'm going to add my prepared cake batter into the bundt pan. Using the back of a spoon, I'm going to spread the cake batter around my bundt pan as evenly as possible. To make the batter more even, shake your pan slightly. And I'm also going to tap it on the bottom with my hand. Now it is ready to be baked. Place this into a preheated 325 degree oven on the bottom rack, and I'm going to bake this for 1 hour and 10 minutes. Alrighty, it's been about 1 hour and 10 minutes now for our cake. Now let's go ahead and remove this out of the oven. Toothpick test inserted into the cake should come out clean. Now you're going to let this cool for about 4 to 5 hours before you remove it out of the pan. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and flip my cake onto this cooling rack. And there we go, nice golden brown. Preheat your fire to medium heat. Alright, let's get started with making our maple brown sugar glaze. So in this medium-sized pot, I'm going to go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter right on in there. And I'm going to just let that melt. Alright, next I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. I'm going to just go ahead and give that a quick stir. Now we're going to let this saute for about 1 minute, stirring occasionally. Now you're going to go ahead and turn your fire off. Alright, next I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, 3 tablespoons of warm whole milk, a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a half a teaspoon of butter extract, 1 teaspoon of maple extract, 1 cup of confectioner sugar, and just a tiny sprinkle, just a little sprinkle of salt, just to bring out those flavors. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my whisk and I'm just going to stir this until it's creamy and smooth with no visible lumps. Alright, and our maple brown sugar icing is now ready. Now for the fun part. Now I'm going to go ahead and pour the icing on top of the cake. Don't that look beautiful? Look at that. All done. Now you're going to let the icing set for about 10 to 15 minutes, and after that, the cake is ready to be served. Here is the final presentation. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, maple brown sugar pound cake made by a New Orleans native. If you like my channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell button if you want to be notified of my videos. Now I have an official website for all of my recipes, including for this delicious maple brown sugar pound cake. You can go to www.charliethecookandrews.com. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter under the name Charlie the Cook Andrews. Stay tuned as Charlie's Taste Test is coming up next. Can't wait. Now it's time to go ahead and take a bite. Look at that, y'all. I don't know where to start. The cake is slightly dense. It's moist. It's not dense to where it's completely overly saturated, but it's moist enough, just like most all pound cakes should be. It has a wonderful maple flavor, the brown sugar, slight brown sugar flavor, but that icing, it really brings out all the flavors of the cake. I mean, it is absolutely delicious. So, give the recipe a try. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, have a good one. Peace.